Eliud Kipchoge, 3-time London Marathon champion and 2016 Olympic gold medalist, of course speaking exclusively to myself at a Nairobi hotel, outlining his plans for the future and his bid as far as world marathon record breaking is concerned. And he remains optimistic that he's still in athletics despite the aging factor. Having met Victor Mugube Wanyama at Tottenham Hotspur, he says that when athletics meet football, a lot of things have to be discussed. Of course, this is the Touchline. If you're just tuning in, a very, very good afternoon and welcome to the program. Remember, 22162 is our SMS line and my name is Maxwell Wasik. We're talking matters football, but with focus on international European League rap. But remember, at 2 p.m., Mathare United, the Slum Boys, taking on Bandari FC at 2 p.m. live and exclusive on Y254 channel at Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos County. But before that, of course, I have my able duo of men who are just about to delve straight into matters international football. Of course, Ronald Okoth has been here with me since the show started, and now joining me is Saina, a man who's been here talking about international football. A Man United fan, of course, he must be happy because United are now guaranteed of UEFA Champions League football come next season. You finish second on the log officially, it's done, right?
It's officially done.
It's officially done. But now the focus shifts to promotion and relegation.
Yes.
3 teams confirmed relegations: West Bromwich Albion, Stoke City, and now Swansea City also looks set to be relegated. What do you make of these teams that have always graced English Premier League football headlines, but now they are getting relegated? We've seen even Sunderland getting relegated to the Championship, and now as we speak right now, it's been relegated to the 3rd tier of English Premier League football. What do you think?
I think powers are shifting. Current football powers are shifting. If you look at these teams that have been relegated, they have one characteristic: they've been changing managers all around throughout the season. And also, if you look at their performance in the first leg of the season, it wasn't that good. And the one thing with football, if you don't perform well in the first leg, second leg is always tough. So most of them didn't perform well in the first leg, and second leg became just so tough, and that's why that's why currently we're seeing a relegation dogfight with West Brom already relegated, and also these other 2 teams are also I think 2 teams are already relegated. So it's also one spot that is still a bit shaky. So most of the teams, they didn't perform up to expectation, and I know their fans are disappointed, and it's a learning process for them, and hopefully they'll be back come next season.
Saina, it's quite unlucky and unfortunate for my favorite team, Nottingham Forest, 2-time UEFA Champions League winner. You lied to us some time back on the show saying that they look set to be promoted to the English Premier League, but chances are quite slim. And of course, as we speak right now, they won't participate in English Premier League football. But we've seen giants in English Premier League football, the likes of Portsmouth, Middlesbrough, Blackburn Rovers, Wigan Athletic, Reading, aggressing English Premier League football, but when they go down to the Championship, coming back becomes, a Herculean task. What do you think has been the main problem?
Well, it's not even a problem per se. It's the competition that is in the Championship. I've always said, and I think I said it once on this show, the toughest league right now in the world is the Sky Bet Championship. Look at those big names that you've just mentioned, the Readings, the Wigans, the Blackburns, the Middlesbroughs. They never come back when they went down. You understand it? And this is because of the competition that is there. Again, once you go down, you can't get your key players, because key players don't play in the lower leagues, don't play in the upper leagues. So you get the likes of Middlesbrough losing all their key stars back to either the EPL or La Liga or Serie A. Now, for this weekend, we already confirmed that Wolves and Cardiff are automatic promotions. Wolves winning the Sky Bet Championship and Cardiff coming up through the promotion. But now there's a dogfight for the playoff places for the 3rd position. Yesterday, Derby won against Fulham 1-0, giving them an advantage to the 2nd leg. Today, we'll have Aston Villa versus Middlesbrough. Again, 2 giants who have been there in the EPL, yes, but only one of them will make it. I am skeptical though that with the likes of Cardiff coming up and Wolves coming up, they'll come up with a good chunk of money. If you win the Sky Bet, you automatically get at least 50 million pounds. For promotion, it's 30 million pounds. If you add in the TV rights, if you add in the merchandise sales, you may get a good amount of about 70 million pounds. But now, how many players can you buy with 70 million pounds to sustain you in the Premier League? There's sustenance, there's mid-table finish, there's European qualification, and there's winning. So for those 2 teams, they should be looking at the 40-point mark, whereby you can say, I've survived this Premier League season, and come the season 2019-20 2020, you can look into now solidifying yourself in the Premier League. The likes of Huddersfield, you see what they have done. The likes of Brighton, you see what they have done. You see the likes of Burnley. Sean Dyche should be.
Talking about Burnley, they will be participating in Europa League come next season because they are in 7 finishing bracket, top 7.
Yes. As for me, the LMA manager of the year should go to Sean Dyche for a purist, from a purist perspective. From an achievement perspective, we have to wait till the Champions League final. We see Jurgen Klopp is going to win the Champions League and also finish in the top 4.
Ronald, Okoth, Brighton FC, Newcastle United under Rafael Benitez alongside Huddersfield, of course, are the teams that got promoted last season to the top tier, and they have survived, not being in position of avoiding relegation. What do you think are the secrets behind their remaining in the top flight?
For any team that is promoted into the top flight, the first mission is always to remain in the top flight.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you finish in what position, but the main aim is always to finish in to at least make sure you survive in the top flight. So I think Benitez and the other teams, most of them are looking forward to surviving the Premier League, and I think they've done it. And so it's just a matter of now again going when the transfer window opens so that they can recruit well and maybe now go for any cup that they can find.
Of course, talking about English Premier League, Manchester City are officially the champions, and after being given the title last weekend. But other news has seen Arsenal coach Arsene Wenger, who rumors are right that is likely to head to French moneybags Paris Saint-Germain, either as a tactician to replace Unai Emery or probably get elevated to the position of technical director. But he is denied such rumors, saying that his warm and cordial relationship with the owner of Paris Saint-Germain is on matters media, is punditry, and so on and so forth. But it's a development that we want to be keeping an eye on and see how that particular pans out. But good send-off for Professor Arsene Wenger last weekend when his team Arsenal thrashed some opponent.
Well, it was okay. It was a good send-off, but we have to look for the last 20 years or so what Arsene Wenger has done to that team. Prior to that, we had an Arsenal team that was seasoned when before the EPL was the EPL. It was just the league. You understand, the upper tier league, and that time the Premier League was not even formed. We were talking about 94, 93, 94. So when he comes in, he already gets a maverick like Sir Alex Ferguson, and he grows the Arsenal team to challenge these big boys. Already Liverpool were thrown off their perch by Manchester United through Sir Alex Ferguson. So here comes Arsene Wenger. What does he do? Does he make expensive signings? No. He looks for these young signings. He brings in the likes of Vieira, he brings in Henry, he brings in Anelka, of all the people. You remember how Anelka used to play before now things degraded. But look at those bunch of guys, the Lumbergs that came in, the Beckhams that came in. That was a formidable team. But now as years grew by, the movement to Emirates for me, I believe, was the downfall of Arsenal Football Club in terms of progressing. You have this mammoth project you have moving from hybrid to the Emirates, first of all. Secondly, your cash is not coming as the way you want it to be in terms of transfers, so you can't get again the marquee signings, because since 2006 2007 we can sit here with you and look at the marquee signings. We can mention the likes of Ozil, we can mention the likes of Aubameyang, we can mention Welbeck, sorry to say that, but yes, Welbeck. You see, some of these signings, yes, they're good signings for the Premier League, but are they going to push you to get into the quarterfinals, the semis of the Champions League? Will they push you to a top 3 finish? And I think that's where Arsenal became stagnant. But as a manager, he's a perfectionist. As a manager, he's a sound technician. As a manager, he understands the game. And it was a good tribute for him to go out like this. But I believe if he gets a chance in any other managerial position, I'm not saying maybe he'll get a chance in Paris Saint-Germain. If he gets a chance in Paris Saint-Germain and you give him 2 seasons, I think he can do wonders in that team, because obviously of the independence of the transfer budget that they can have.
Remember, it's a wrap for most leagues in Europe. What do you think have been the lows and highs of your favorite league in Europe, of course English Premier League, Manchester City being crowned officially the champions, Paris Saint-Germain, the French moneybags, winning French Ligue 1, Barcelona winning La Liga, and of course Bayern Munich winning Bundesliga, and Juventus looking set to win Serie A. And of course there has been a hotly contested battle between themselves alongside Napoli, whom pundits thought that probably they might leapfrog the old lady from, you know, dominating Italian football, but as things stand they are looking set to be crowned champions of Italian league. But now let's talk about matters, you know, transfers of players, even as the league, most leagues in Europe almost are looking forward to coming to an end. Wayne Rooney, the former England captain and Manchester United skipper, the 31-year-old international who moved from Old Trafford to his boyhood club Everton, now he's looking set to move to Major League Soccer in US. What do you think about that development? Of course, we've seen American football trying to bring on board various high-profile, top-notch players as one way of probably spicing up their league, but it is something that is yet to be felt. What do you think about Rooney's move?
Rumors are right that he is about to move to the MLS, but I think when Rooney left Man United, he wanted to finish his career with Everton.
Yes.
But I don't think he moved to the MLS. I'm seeing him staying at Everton for another maybe season or so before he can. So I don't think this transfer window will move to the MLS. He's still around to stay at Everton.
DC United, of course, confirming that they have expressed an interest in Wayne Rooney, and also Big Sam Allardyce, the tactician for the Everton, now denying that, you know, Rooney is yet to speak to him about his MLS reported move. I don't know, from where you sit, Saina, what do you think about this transfer saga of Wayne Rooney? And in case it happens, do you think it will be a big boost for American football?
First of all, in terms of the transfers and in terms of the rumors, you have to understand that the player has his own manager, so to speak, who takes care of the transfers.
All straightforward.
Yes, I understand. So when Rooney is busy at home or maybe doing training and everything, his manager is looking for the best interest of first himself and for the player. It's all about the money. So you'll see that in the papers they'll say Rooney has agreed in principle with DC United. Okay, and Sam Allardyce will come and tell you, I haven't talked to him, I haven't heard of such a thing. And then Sam Allardyce goes on and says, if any player wants to leave, I will let them leave. As a manager, you have to stamp your yard and say, you know what, I'm in control of this team. You will not bring unrest because you want to be transferred, or you know your manager wants you to be transferred. In that regard also, for him to go to the MLS would be detrimental to his career. Rooney is only 32 years old. If he's going to the MLS, let him be going to the MLS because of injuries. That way he can be playing maybe 15 games a season as respect to maybe the 32 games a season. But if we can get his injury into check and his conditioning before the start of the season, he should still stay in Everton. Going to MLS, it's a big boost, yes. The money will be there, the merchandise will be there. He won't be as much as Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but the name will be there that Rooney has come to DC United.
Wayne Rooney, for, you know, the sake of truth and, you know, authenticity, is my favorite player. And of course, when he came to Tanzania with Everton to play in SportPesa Super Cup, I happened to watch him play, and of course the crowds were full at the stadium, of course watching him when they were playing Gor Mahia Football Club in Dar es Salaam. But what do you think about his move? Do you think lack of playing time at Everton and some sort of frustration is attributed to his reported move?
I don't think it's lack of play time, because okay, you also look at his age. Is that he's at his prime,
yes,
where he's about to finish his career. And also, if you look at the strikers that Everton have, they are very youthful lads. Some of them are playing for their national teams. So it's just a normal thing that happens in football. As you age, as you grow old, also there are new lads that are coming in, and also the coach prefers him to bring in more enthusiastic young players who are just ready to play, who just want to play, want to prove a point. To maybe he's been coming in maybe in some games because of his experience and such, but I think it's also about his age. Yeah.
And of course, now let's talk about another player who's just one the league with Manchester City. That's Ivorian international Yaya Toure, who said that while he was leaving Barcelona, even the wife got surprised that how comes out of all the teams you leaving Barcelona, a high-profile club, to Manchester City, a team that is not in the knowledge of public domain, but you know, he defied all odds to join the Etihad best club. And even he says that before that, it's only Man United just making positive headlines as far as football at the city of Manchester is concerned. But now he's won several titles, a few titles with City, and now it is his time to quit and probably head elsewhere. And rumors arrive that probably he can join United or can go back to Barcelona. What do you think about that particular development, and what do you think is likely to happen?
First of all, Yaya Toure is a maverick. He's a brilliant box-to-box player, advanced playmaker, and also can draw back in between the defense and the mid just to cover that ground. I remember the 2013-2014 season where he played 32 matches. He scored 20 goals. He had 27 shots on target as a midfielder. You're giving the likes of the strikers around for their money, but with age comes again shortcomings. The way City are playing right now is a very fast-paced game. For him to remove Yaya and to put someone like David Silva, or to remove Yaya and put someone like Bernardo Silva, or you put all this Leroy Saina, you can even put Kevin De Bruyne in the same position that Yaya plays, gives you an extra edge in terms of speed, in terms of tactical awareness, in terms of visionary awareness. That guy is running to the right, let me just pass the ball straight away. Same thing Yaya has, but now it slows down the game. Yaya will be fit in a team that starts the ball from the goalkeeper. The build-up is a slow, meticulous way of playing. Then when you get to the top end, is more of a counter-attack. Milan will be a very good team for him. AC Milan will be a very good team for him. Juventus will be a very good team for him. If he goes to any Premier League team right now, if he goes to the likes of United, Manchester United, if he goes to the likes of Arsenal, he will suffer because again, the game has changed in the EPL. It's a more fast-approached game. For me, I would see him, you know, if you would try out again the Italian Serie A, look at the likes of AC Milan, or even go to the Turkish league, play for Fenerbahce, play for Besiktas, or Galatasaray or Besiktas, and still remain high profile, but at the same time realize that your legs are not the same that they were 3-4 seasons ago, and you know, slow down your game.
He announced this retirement from international football, and Ivory Coast will be among the 5 African countries that will represent the continent during the upcoming World Cup showpiece in Russia. Do you think he's likely to reverse his decision and come assist
No,
Cote d'Ivoire?
I don't think he'll reverse his decision. He's a man of his word, and also he's leaving City as a legend, having played there for over 8 years. And I'm hoping, I would have loved to see him back in the EPL again, but definitely, just like my colleague has said, I know he'll end up somewhere maybe in the Serie A.
But he's insisted that, you know, EPL with its magnitudes is looking forward, you know, remaining in English Premier League and probably play for another EPL side.
Yeah.
If he has to play for an EPL club, he has to look for a club that will suit his style of play, because, you know, with age, is also again slowing down with this style of play, and EPL is a very fast league and physical league.
Unless he becomes a squad member. Yeah. You become a squad member, you agree that you're going to be a bench member, you're coming in the 70th minute, push up guys, or you're coming in the crucial games for the first half and then you're subbed after that. You have to understand that you're getting old. Yeah. Your conditioning, you cannot compare your conditioning to the conditioning of people like Ryan Giggs. He was a winger, he was conditioning. Look at your height, look at Ryan Giggs' height. Again, muscle science is very important. He should realize that.
Yeah, to announcing that he will quit Etihad after winning English Premier League title with Manchester City. And of course, there has been claimed that, you know, some sort of bad relationship, bad blood between himself and Pep Guardiola, man who coached him at Barcelona, his former club, and probably that is also has contributed immensely towards his likely exit from Etihad. And he's saying that he's still looking forward playing for another English Premier League side. But now another development as far as transfer is concerned is Antoine Griezmann, the Atletico Madrid forward, who has indicated that, you know, he wants his transfer saga to be sorted before World Cup starts in Russia, and there are rumors that he's likely to join Barcelona, but the management of Atletico Madrid are saying that the amount of cash that has been quoted as his transfer fee is not equivalent to his worthiness. Do you think is above the price that is being quoted?
Well, we have to realize one thing with these Spanish clubs. What they do with players, that they put on your contract a release clause. The release clause is quite huge. You might, for Neymar, his release clause was about 300 million euros. Okay, so you look at that amount of money as Barcelona right now, and you say, okay, we'll offer Griezmann 150 million euros to the club. Yet for Atletico Madrid, the release clause is coming close to 350. So Atletico Madrid will say, not your offer, because we already have set a release clause. We know how important this player is and how he can come in and fill in that position that no one has ever filled in after Neymar went. It has been a tuggle to get someone to replace where Neymar was playing on the left side. Griezmann can come in and replace Neymar very well, but again, the transfer policy, most of the Spanish teams, is that they put on you a release clause. Now, it's up to now the hierarchy at Atletico Madrid to understand that if we get, for example, 150 million euros, are we going to invest it wisely to try and not only replace Griezmann, but the aging squad, the likes of Godin in defense, the likes of Kike? Are we going to get this money and spend it wisely, or are we going to again get the money and just replace one player and then the team goes back for the next season? For Barcelona, they need to make this deal go through. They need Griezmann. I believe that position has never been filled since Neymar went.
Because in a few minutes we shall be heading straight to Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos County, where Mathare United, the Slum Boys, occupying third. The Log will be playing host to Bandari, the Dockers, in a kickoff fixture that is slated for 2 p.m. East African time and will be aired live and exclusive on Y254 channel. Of course, Ronald Okoth played for Mathare United before. What are your expectations ahead of this kickoff?
As usual, I know Mathare is going to win this match, and I'm really hoping they can go all the way throughout the season and also win the league, because it's high time Mathare also should now put its foot on the ground and also call itself a big club, because we have also been the champions of the Kenya Premier League. So I know Mathare United are going to win the match, and it will be a fantastic match to play.
Fantastic match. I've spoken to Francis Kimanzi, former national team Harambee Stars tactician, now at the helm of Slum Boys, and he's indicated that, you know, winning the league is also one of the options available, and they won the league in 2008, but it's been several years of waiting in between. Do you think they can, you know, pull a surprise and win it this time round?
I think this is the season for Mathare United, because if you look at over the previous years, it has been so elusive for us, because in terms of cash, there have not been money in the team. So, you know, getting quality players, paying players and all that, motivating players, it hasn't been there. But if you look at this season, things have started off well for the team, and also if you look at their position right now in the first leg, they're performing very well. And one thing with our league, if you perform better in the first leg, second leg is always tough. So second leg, if they can continue pushing on with the same form that they've had in the first leg, why not? They'll just win the league. So I think Gor Mahia is the team to beat.
Saina, how comes you've never been patriotic supporting local football? Which team do you support in as far as KPL is concerned?
It's because you never asked me. Mine is Tusker FC.
You support Tusker FC?
Yes, but because Ronald is next to me and I don't want to fight off the stage, I support Mathare today to win the game.
Supporting Mathare United this particular afternoon to avoid, you know, clashing with Ronald off air after this particular interview. Of course, Mathare United are looking forward playing Bandari at 2 p.m. at Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos County. That game will be relayed live on Y254. But remember, tomorrow, Hull City, the championship side, will be playing Gor Mahia Football Club at Kasarani Stadium, 3 p.m. kickoff, and that fixture will be aired live on our mother station, KBC Channel 1. But now the interesting thing is whether we shall see the likes of Abel Hernandez of Hull City being fielded to play Gor Mahia Football Club, or we shall see the reserve side of Hull City. It's an interesting situation that a lot of Kenyans are looking forward witnessing.
Whether they feel a reserve team or the first team, I just want Gor Mahia to go and run the show.
Sure.
Yeah, so I don't care who's going to be fielded. I'm just hoping Gor Mahia will come up with a win in that match, because it will be a big moral booster for them, because, you know, they've been playing back-to-back matches and registering some very good results. So tomorrow, I know it will be the same story. Gor Mahia will win the match.
Big step as far as enhancement of Kenyan football is concerned, bringing those European sides for exposure of our players. What do you think?
I think it's a very good step through the sponsor SportPesa. Again, in the agreement clause, you have to play a team that is sponsored by SportPesa. So luckily for us, it's Hull at the moment. And for what Gor Mahia can pick out of this game is coming up with their AFCON match in the midweek. Look at how you can first of all gain that speed for that the European League entails. Look at how you can counter quick counter attack. Maybe our pitches won't allow that, but per se, I believe that this game will be a very good stepping stone for Gor Mahia in terms of fitness, in terms of awareness, tactically. For Hull City, I hope they put in Abel Hernandez. I hope they put in the first team. Why? It would rather challenge Gor Mahia and say, not Gor Mahia either won or lost, but they played one of the best teams in the championship, in the Sky Bet Championship, again the hardest league in the world. So it will be a very good boost for their morale. Whether draw, win or lose, this will prepare them definitely for the upcoming match.
But at least they have proven track record, of course, having played Everton,
yes,
which fielded players like Wayne Rooney with this profile magnitude, and they managed to be defeated by 1-0, which is not a big defeat margin. But before, of course, we head to Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos County, where Mathare United, the Slum Boys, are looking set to play Bandari in a 2 p.m. kickoff fixture. Let's talk about the sentiments by former FIFA president Sepp Blatter, who has indicated that World Cup of 2026 should be hosted by one nation, but not co-hosted by multiple countries. Ronald, what do you think, as even we seek witnessing probably Morocco, the African giants, being named on June 13th the host of 2026 World Cup in Russia?
I think Blatter is just right. The World Cup should be hosted by one nation, because if you look at there are a lot of benefits when it's hosted by one nation. So if you look at where it was hosted in South Africa, I think South Africa had got a lot of positives from it in terms of tourism. The economy grew. So to me, I think it should just continue the same way, being hosted by one nation.
Blatter's sentiments, are they geared towards fronting for Morocco being given the hosting rights? Because when he says a World Cup should be hosted by one nation rather than at the expense of being co-hosted by multiple countries, he's indicating that now Morocco should be the favorite to be given the mantle to host 2026 World Cup. It
will be a very brilliant move for the World Cup to come back again to Africa. But with that said, Blatter's sentiments are actually quite okay, because for me, I look at it from the form of the teams themselves. You're co-hosting, for example, Morocco and Tunisia, lack of a better, or Kenya, Uganda. Already, some of our countries in Africa don't have the best transport infrastructure. You're looking at fatigue of these players. You've played one game in Nairobi, the next game you're supposed to play in Dar es Salaam, or you're supposed to play in somewhere in Uganda, and you look at the transport infrastructure, the fatigue of the players will come in. Disregard that. If you go back to Europe, when you have, for example, Italy and France hosting it, the transport service is very well. You just enter the train, next few minutes you're in one town, next few minutes you're in another town. So I will understand how we'll come up with such an assumption. Again, would it be good for the game in years to come after 2026? Yes, two host nations would be so bad. They tried it in 2002? They tried it in Asia with Japan and was it Japan? South Korea. You see, they tried that. So I think it can work, but for the players' fatigue and also for the excitement of the game, I think it will be detrimental. Let's just remain with one host, and if it comes to Morocco, that would be good for us.
But even ahead of 2018 World Cup in Russia, which is slated to kick off in a few months, actually in a few days from now as we speak, of course countries are looking forward, naming their players who shall grace the global showpiece in Russia. The 5 African countries, of course, led by Egypt, which has Mo Salah, who's in prolific form and looking forward to playing Real Madrid in UEFA Champions League finale later this month, and probably that will be a boost to his sparkling form, which he has to replicate, that has seen him score several goals for Liverpool in both English Premier League and even Continental Championship, UEFA Champions League. But now, what are your expectations, both of you, as far as the naming of the squads, the likely inclusions, the likely omissions, the surprises that we say to see, getting omitted from the squad? Of course, with talk now indicating that Alvaro Morata is likely to miss out on Spain. I don't know where you sit. What do you think overall about the squads?
It's disappointing that some of the squads have to get players who are omitted, but most of them are getting omitted through injury. England has lost Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yes.
Brazil has lost Dani Alves. So some of key players are going to miss this World Cup. But in terms of the team that I'm looking at, which is England, the squad, there's a good rotational squad that we can play with. We can have two teams that can compete in this competition, from the strikers, from Kane all the way to the goalkeepers, the likes of Pickford, the likes of Hart, all these guys. So I'm looking in the next couple of weeks to see the teams. Russia has already named its 23-man squad. Russians they're done. They're like the host country are done. If you want to bring back Pele to play, it's up to you. Us guys have already named us a squad. So what I'm looking keenly in the next 3 weeks, especially for Egypt and England, is the youth that are coming through, the new blood that is coming through to the squad. Again, for Mo Salah, this will be very important. If Mo Salah can push Egypt into the quarters, so to speak, of the group stage, you should consider him a Ballon d'Or. You should consider him as a Ballon d'Or. And if he wins the Champions League, he should win the Ballon d'Or. That's what I believe.
At least this guy has disclosed his favorite national team, England. And at least now I have someone to mourn with, because talking about the Lions, it's a team that has disappointed some of us for, on several occasions. 2010 World Cup in South Africa, 2014 World Cup in Brazil, and some people say that England is the Kenyan version of, Harambee Stars. They win when it doesn't matter. They win during friendlies, during qualifications, but now during the major tournament it's dismal showing. But now over to you. What do you think about the injury concerns of several tacticians, of several managers of national teams ahead of the global showpiece? Do you think it will be a big setback to some of the teams as we head into this global championship?
Yeah, it's a big blow for most of these national teams, because it's any player's dream to play in the World Cup.
Yes.
Because that is the ultimate football tournament
True.
in the whole world. So some of the teams that are having maybe injury setbacks and all that, it's a big blow for them, because some of these players are dependable players in the team.
Yes.
And also these players, they wanted to play in the World Cup. They would have really loved to play in the World Cup, but because of injuries and maybe lack of fitness and all that, they haven't been able to make it into the final cut. But still, I know that there are players who are behind the scenes, are waiting to grab the opportunity.
Yes.
So it's also their time to experience the beauty of playing in the World Cup. So I know any player that will make it the cut into the national team will just give it a go and give it all his best.
Big plus for them in terms of exposure, playing in the prestigious tournament, and even the privileges associated with the hefty allowances.
Yeah, because if you look at a team like Nigeria have been promised that if they win the World Cup, they'll be given the prize money to share. But again, a football pundit from Nigeria was saying that's like telling them, we won't be giving you any money because
they won't win it.
Because they won't win it. But it's a good tournament. And if you look at even the maybe package wise, I know teams are getting good allowance. If you look at maybe a team like Nigeria, they've already been given the allowances for the World Cup, so as to avoid the push and shove where it comes to payers our allowances and all that. So it's just a good tournament, and every country is looking forward to being part of it.
Of course, a little bit of apologies in terms of technical hitch hindering the relay of that KPL clash beating Mathare United and Bandari FC that was supposed to kick off at 2 p.m. in Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos County. But of course, our technical crew are working tooth and nail to ensure that that game comes at the comfort of your living room in a few. Of course, this is the Touchline on Y254. My name is Maxwell Wasika, and remember, every Saturday 1 to 3 we're talking matter sports in several sporting disciplines, both local and beyond, just highlighting about what is happening. Of course, if you are a fan outside there and you wish to come on the set and discuss about international football with focus to your favorite team, keep talking to us. 2216 to SMS as tell us your name and which team do you support, and you can be lucky to come on the show and talk about matters Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea Football Club, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest. I don't know whether there's a fan of Nottingham Forest outside there.
Except you. I'm sure they are.
Sure.
You'll be very surprised.
overally, as far as European League rap is concerned, dominance of some clubs, Paris Saint-Germain dominating French League 1, Juventus dominating Italian football, that is Serie A, and so is Bayern Munich as far as Bundesliga. Too bad?
Well, UEFA have been coming up with this a slogan on how to cap these financial advantages some of these teams have, and as long as that cap is not there, I'm telling you, these teams are going to run riot because they have the finances, they have the training facilities, they can get any managers they want. But the good thing about football is that you'll have a fairy tale story, a Leicester City story, you'll have all this fairy tale story soon.
Saina, of course, speaking and giving his perspective as far as international football is concerned and dominance of several clubs as far as European leagues are concerned. We coming to a wrap. Of course, thanks gentlemen for getting time and coming on the show to give you a qualified perspective of matters international football. Straight to Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos County, where we televising live and exclusive KPL clash pitting the Slum Boys of Mathare United, 2008 KPL champions, against the Dockers of Bandari FC. Of course, let's do this next time. That is Saturday 1 to 3. My name is Maxwell Wasika. Enjoy and have a fantastic weekend. Cheers.